So I'm going to go over the week 9 practice and review here in this video. So it says, at a daycare, Karan sees children climbing on this foam play structure. Karan is thinking about building a structure like this for his younger cousins to play on. The entire structure is made of soft foam so the children don't hurt themselves. How much foam will Karan need to build this himself? So when we start looking at this, we are going to break this up into smaller parts, okay? So I'm going to break it up into this part here, then this part here, and then the part on the right, okay? So, and I also noticed that this is 20 inches in depth, right? Because this over here is 20 inches in depth. Y'all see that? So all of these will be the same, 20 inches, 20 inches. Y'all see it? Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to find the volume of the prism on the left. So to do that, we're going to do 5 times 8 times 20. And that's going to be equal to 800. Okay. Then we're going to find the volume of this other one. Now notice if this is 5 and that's 5, then the whole height here is 10 inches, right? Okay, so it's 10 by 10, right? So the next one's going to be 10 times again 20. So that's going to be 2,000. Okay. So our triangle, remember, we have a triangular base. This right here would be our base, right? So that's our base, and we're going to do our base times our height. So the base is going to be 1/2 base times height. Well, it looks like we have our height. That's our height right there, right? So what would our base be? So hopefully you remember, maybe not, that if this angle right here is 45, then this one has to be 45 because this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And these two sides would be congruent, right? So that means this down here also is 10 inches, right? So when we find our base, it's going to be 1/2 of 10 times 10. And then our height is going to be this 20 right here, right? Times 20. So that's what we're going to do to find that triangular prism. So we're going to do 1/2 10 times 10 times our 20. And when we do that, that's going to give us 1,000. Okay? So we're going to add those three together. So 1,000 plus 2,000 is 3,000, thus 3,800, and this is inches cubed. Okay? So if you're ordering foam, that's how much you need. All right, so this next one says, what are the volumes in terms of pi of a cylinder that has a has the dimensions of 5 by 8 rotated 360 degrees? That should be degrees. Let me move that over. The following ways. So a line along the long side. So that would be a line here. So if I do that one, then my radius is 5, right? So radius is equal to 5, and the height would be equal to 8. So this is going to be pi times 5 squared times 8. That's 25 times 8. So that's 200 pi. Okay? So let's do another one. This one is along the short side. So if I do it here, that's what it's saying next. Okay? So this time we have a radius of 8, right? And a height of 5. Okay? So now we're going to do pi times 8 squared, because this is pi r squared h, right? Isn't that the volume of a cylinder? Okay? So we're going to multiply that times 5. So that's going to be 64 times 5, which is 320 pi. All right, our next one, let's pick a different color here. We'll go with black now. It says a vertical line of symmetry. So a vertical line of symmetry would be here, and that would mean that I'm cutting this into 2 equal parts. So our radius is now 4, right? So the radius is equal to 4. Our height is equal to 5. So we're going to do pi times 4 squared times 5. So that's going to be 16 times 5. And that's going to be 80 pi. Okay, we got one more. This one is a horizontal line of symmetry. So now we're drawing a horizontal line of symmetry here. So that means now what? This is 2.5 because that would be half of it. So our radius is going to be 2.5 and our height is going to be 8, right? So we're going to do 2 pi times 2.5 squared times 8. And this one is going to be 50 pi. So depending on how we rotate this, this determines what the volume is. All right. So let's go on to the next one. So number 3 says a golden colored cube is handed to you. The person wants to buy it for $100, saying that it is gold. It's a gold nugget. You pull out your old geology text and look up gold in the mineral table. Gold's density is 19.3 grams per centimeter cubed. You measure the cube and find that it's 2 centimeters on each side. So we're going to use this to find our volume. Okay, that's going to be our volume. And our weight is our mass, right? So this is equal to our mass. Okay, so remember that density is equal to mass over volume, right? So first we need to find our mass, we know, is 40 grams, right? So then we need to also find this, our cube, right, volume. So a cube volume is length times width times height, only they're all three the same, right? So it's going to be 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 to the third, which is 8. So this is going to be divided by 8, and this is centimeters, right? Cubed. Yes? Okay, so our density is literally going to be 5. So our density is equal to 5. If we divide 8 into 40, that's 5, right? Grams per centimeter cubed. So that's less than 19.3, right? So I would say, do we think that this is gold? No. And am I going to buy it? Absolutely not. No, no. Density of gold would be it would have to be 19.3 or pretty close to that, okay? Number 4 says, you decide, do you want to carry a boulder home from the beach? It is 30 centimeters on each side and so has a volume of 2,700 centimeters cubed. It's made of granite, which has a typical density of 2.8 grams per centimeter. So this should be cubed. Don't know why that's not cubed, but it should be. There should be a cubed up here. How much would this boulder weigh? Let me see if I need to fix that in the note. Yeah, I better fix that. Okay. This is our volume right there. And it says it has a density of, so density equals mass over volume, right? Weight is mass, okay? So that's what we're solving for here is our mass, okay? So it says our density is 2.8. And this is grams per centimeters cubed. And that's equal to our volume it gives us. And we're looking for our mass, right? So our volume is 27,000 centimeters cubed. Now, how do we get rid of something that's in the denominator? We multiply both sides by it, right? So we're going to do that on both sides. So we're going to do 27,000. And this is centimeters cubed times. So that centimeters cubed and the centimeters cubed are going to cancel each other out because one's on the top and one's on the bottom. So we're really going to do 27,000 times 2.8. And when we do that, we get 75,600, and our unit that's left are grams, right? So that's our answer. All right, so on this next one, it says plot a point C5,3, D -1,1, and E2, -3 in the coordinate plane and find the length of CD, DE, and EC. Okay, so let's just go ahead and plot all these points. So C is 5,3. 5,3 is right there. Let me move this stuff out of the way. So that's going to be C. Then we've got D, which is at -1, +1. That's our D right there. And then we've got E, which is at 2, -3 right there. E. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and connect these. So I'm going to connect E to C, D to E, and D to C. Okay? So I got a triangle. So then it says it wants us to find the length of CD. So CD is here. So to find this, I'm going to go 2 up and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over, right? So remember our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is our right angle, right? Whoops, I didn't need to move that. Let me see if I can move it back down. There we go. So here's our right angle. Okay, so we're going to do 2 squared plus 6 squared. That's going to be equal to CD squared, right? So that's going to be 4 plus 36 equals CD squared. We're going to do, that's going to be 40 is equal to CD squared. So we're going to take square root of both sides here. So CD, if we were to write it in simplest radical form, would be the square root of 4 times the square root of 10, which is 2 square root of 10. And if we were to compute that, that would be approximately 6.32. Okay? All right, the next one is DE, right? DE. So we've got DE over here. DE is right there. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa. Wow, that's not good. Is that where it was, y'all? No. -1, 1. There we go. Maybe a little bit closer to what it was. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, right? 4 tall and 3 wide. There's our right angle. So we're looking for DE again. So DE squared is equal to 4 squared plus 3 squared. That's 16 plus 9. That's 25. So DE squared equals, going to take square root again, right? So we're going to take square root of DE squared and 25. So DE is equal to 5, right? Sorry. Square root of 25 is 5. Yep. Now let's do our last one. This one is EC, right? EC is right there. So here we're going across 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 wide, and this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tall. So that's our 3. And so we're going to, with EC, that's going to be EC squared is equal to 3 squared plus 6 squared. That's 9 plus 36. So EC squared is equal to, what is that, 45? Take square root again on both sides. So take square root here, take square root here. So EC is going to be equal to the square root of 9 times square root of 5, right? We know there's a perfect square in there. So this is equal to 3 square root of 5 in simplest radical form. And then its approximate answer would be 6.71. Okay? So that's how we do it using Pythagorean's theorem. Then the next one says find the distance between F and G without plotting the points. So that means we're going to use the distance formula, right? So we're going to find FG, the length of that. So to do that, we're going to use our distance formula. That means we're going to do x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1. So what I'm going to do is label these, okay? So I'm going to label this one x1, y1, and I'm going to label this one x2, y2, okay? So now I'm just going to plug them into that formula, okay? So I'm going to put my formula here, squared plus squared, okay? And I'm going to put these values in there. So x2 is -4. So I'm going to go -4 minus 5. Let's do that in red. That's what color it is, okay? And then blue over here, y2 is 2. And again, we're going to subtract the 9, right? So we're now just going to simplify what's in those parentheses first, right? So this is going to be the square root of -9 squared plus 2 minus 7, minus 9 is -7 squared. Now remember, anytime you square a negative number, it's a negative times a negative, which means it's going to be a positive, okay? So this is going to be 81 plus 49, which is equal to the square root of 130, okay? Now, if we want the approximate answer of that, then we actually take that square root, right? So again, you're going to have to look at your answer choices when you're doing this kind of stuff. And that would have been 11.4, okay? All right, let's go on to the next one. This one says, which of the following equations represents the circle on the graph? Choose all that apply. So let's see if we can figure out where our center is here, okay? So I'm going to go across here all the way and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to divide that 8 by 2 because that's going to give me my radius. So the radius is 4. So now I'm going to count back. Let me do that again. So that's going to give me 4, right? So I'm going to count back 4, and that's going to be my center then. Okay, so what is the center here? So the center is at 4, comma, negative 4. And what's our radius? Our radius is also 4, isn't it? Radius equals 4. So now we can write the equation of this circle, remembering that our formula is x minus h, that's the y of x value of our center squared, plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And this is on your formula sheet. You just have to remember that h and k are the center of the circle, okay? So this is our h and that's our k, okay? So now let's plug that in. So that means we've got, when we plug it in, we've got x minus 4 squared plus y, and this is going to be minus a minus 4 squared plus, equals our 4 squared, okay? So hopefully you remember that when you have two negatives together, it makes a positive. So we're going to go ahead and change this to a plus right here. So that's going to give us x minus 4 squared plus y plus 4 squared, and then 4 squared is 16. Okay, so let's see if we can find some, first of all, some answers that look like this. So x minus 4 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals, it's definitely not that one because that has a 4. Center is negative 4, 4, no. Radius was definitely not 2. Let's keep going. Our center is 4, negative 4, radius of 4. This looks like it's correct. So let's circle that one. And then we've got x minus 4. Nope. That's definitely not that one and that one. So I'm going to go ahead and mark through these ones that we've eliminated, okay? And then let's go down to h. X minus 4 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 16. Okay, so this is another answer. And then our center at 4, negative 4 with a radius of 16. No, our radius is 4, right? So that's definitely not an answer either. So now to find out, we have one more answer, and it looks like the A, D, and G are the expanded version of this equation. Okay, so when we're using the expanded version, what we're going to talk about is we're going to either do this by doing the x minus 4 here in the box method, which would give us x squared minus 4x minus 4x and 16, right? So these two are like terms. So what I taught you guys was we're going to drop the first term, that's x squared, multiply negative 4 times x times 2. So that's negative 8x. Then square the last term, which will give us 16. So that's what we're going to do for the other one as well. So again, we're going to square the first term, that's y squared, multiply the 2 together, that's 4y, times 2 is 8y, and then square the last term, that's 16, and then that's equal to 16, right? So I see several 16s here. So we got some like terms. Y'all see these right here? So we have to combine those. So I'm going to bring down my x squared minus my 8x. And then I'm going to combine these three. Okay, so, but I'm going to go ahead and move them to last. So this is plus y squared plus 8y, and that's going to be plus 32 equals 16. So let's see what we got, if we can find some matches here. So x squared minus 8x, y squared plus 8y, minus 16. Well, if I subtract this 32 from both sides, that would give me a minus 16, wouldn't it? So that's a correct answer. Let's check the next one. Negative 8x, y squared plus 8y. Well, I think those two are the same right now, y'all. Did I not fix that? Let me see. Yep, I think yeah, that was correct as well. Same answer, y'all. So what about the next one? Yep, this one's definitely not true because that would leave us with 0, wouldn't it? Okay. So A, E, D and H, because these are exactly the same, aren't they? They weren't meant to be exactly the same, but they are. So it's all good. All right, so now let's look at our last one. So this one says, what are the center and radius of the circle with the equation x squared minus 16x plus y squared plus 6y plus 57. So to do this, I'm going to actually write the equation, okay? So this is going to be x plus 8, remember you change the sign, plus y minus 3 squared equals 16 squared. Okay, so that would give me, if I multiply this out, that's x squared plus 16x plus 64 plus y squared minus 6y plus 9 equals 256, okay? So this is a minus, so that's definitely, we got a minus 16x right there, so that's definitely not the right one. Okay, let's do the next one, same thing. So we're going to do x minus 8 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 4 squared, right? So this is going to be x squared minus 16x minus 64, sorry, plus 64, because negative times negative is a positive, plus y squared plus 6y plus 9 equals 16. Okay, so this time we have the negative 16x and the positive 6y. So those definitely check out. So you guys see what I'm saying? This checks, this checks, this checks, this checks. So let's combine the 64 and the 9. That would give us what? 64 and 9 would be 80. No, sorry, 73, right? Yep, I can't add today, y'all. 73. So this is 73. And if we subtract that 16 from 73, we get 57, don't we? And that's a positive 57. So whoop, that's it. That's our answer right there. Okay? So that's probably the easiest way to do this, is to go ahead and just put them in the equation, then expand it and see which one matches what's up here. Okay?